Welcome back to another episode, if you can stand it anymore, of Where Hatters Walk. This crazy season, this brilliant season at Bateswell. We're into the final game this season, away at the Hawthorns, where a win for Luton will see them safe, and even maybe a draw or even a loss can see them safe as well. Definitely in their hands. And the whole footballing world this week wanted to congratulate them. Swansea fans saying, "Oh, it's sexual." Burnley fans, "Well in, lads." Bristol City fans saying, "Hell yeah." Middlesbrough fans saying, "Love you." Swansea fans saying, "Always love Luton," and "Well done" from Sunderland fan. The whole footballing fraternity absolutely went ballistic when that ball hit the back of the net. How are we all doing, Mark? How are you doing from a physical point of view, first of all, after doing a million steps and then having to sit through that for 90 minutes? Are you okay?
I think sitting through the game has been harder than the actual walk. But yeah,
would you rather do another million steps than sit through that again? Yeah.
No, probably not a million, but okay. What emotional roller coaster! And yeah, I'm now recovering, and one mission accomplished, and hopefully the other one will get accomplished at West Brom on Saturday.
Absolutely. We'll get into the refereeing decisions and all of that, and then Liam Walsh in a second, I promise. But Lewis, just can you describe? I know you put out your own podcast last night, which was great, and you've been on social media, which is fantastic. But can you put into words what happened in that minute or so when that hit the back of the net?
Honestly, it's just one of those types of goals where you just don't expect it. Out of all the attempts we had throughout the game, that was the goal that was going to win us the match. Honestly, I've never heard, especially this season, that's probably the loudest we've ever celebrated a goal, because we just knew what was on the line as well. So yeah, unbelievable scenes. I've cut my knee as well. Still haven't recovered from
that. Sam, what about you? Where were you in the ground? What happened? You have grown men jumping on you, etc., etc.
I was near where the players were celebrating after, in the stand behind the goal, and it was just absolute scenes. Amazing limbs, and Baptiste, of all players, to be the one to score the goal that will probably keep us up is very poetic.
Yeah, absolutely. Kevin, you've your tweet has gone a bit viral under that Luton Town one, saying you're not going to be able to cope. Are you all right? You seem to have lost a bit of hair.
First of all, Mark, I'm super jealous of the three guys here with me, not to be able to go there. But I was there in heart and soul, and trust me, I was sweating the whole time too. And I think if Mark wasn't that fit, I'm sure, like me, he would have died of a heart attack. Luckily, he's in shape there. Absolutely brilliant. Felt it all the way over here, and we go one more game. One more game.
Absolutely, we'll come on and talk about it in a second. Yeah, I mean, a funny game in many ways. Mark. Let's go through some of the things that happened. First of all, the sending off for Coventry in the running through. I mean, bad defending on their part, but was that a red card?
I say yes, because albeit the
surprised me.
No, but I'm trying to look at this objectively, and you look at what the benchmark is for decisions that are given. I mean, first of all, what a ball from Asgard. That was just like absolute class. But there was minimal contact, but there was enough contact to go down, and you can't deny it was a goal scoring opportunity. So as minimal as it was, there was contact and it was clean through. So if you see that every week, then there's not really many times it's not going to be a sending off. And but we historically have struggled when against 10 men, so it wasn't a formality as it proved that we were going to just dominate against 10 men, which we did. But yeah, it wasn't that easy.
Did you not think the covering defender that was there potentially made it a yellow?
Well, it's
playing devil's advocate a little bit here.
Yeah, it was a goal scoring opportunity. You can't say that he wasn't going to get a shot away. And if it's a goal scoring opportunity, it's a straight red. Yes, there might have been a covering defender, but it wasn't a covering defender behind. So we didn't have cover back. The defenders were coming from the other side because the ball from Asgard had left him so exposed that without his pace, only one thing was going to happen. He'd beaten him for pace, and the defender knew he was in trouble, and it was just out of desperation to stop him going clean through. From what I can see, I was at the other end, and I've seen the replays, and yeah, it's a sort of decision. If it happens to you, you're screaming that he wasn't the last man and the contact was minimal. But I think you see that every week, and 9 times out of 10, it will be the same decision.
Okay. I agree with you, by the way. I'm just pushing you a little bit further. Right, Lewis, that brings us on to the other red card then for Mr. Walsh, which this is divided. I'm not sure it has divided the football world actually. What did you make of the incident?
Well, I'm a little bit annoyed with Walsh for getting involved, because he doesn't need to get involved, especially on a yellow card. Just stay away from it. And also, the player who was pushing and causing the problems for Coventry, he was pushing McGuinness. And look, I'm not being funny. McGuinness is tall. He's big enough. He can handle himself. So Walsh doesn't really need to get involved. But the reaction from the Coventry player, I feel we are going to appeal the red card as well. That needs to be investigated when players actually cheat. That is cheating. He's pretending that he's been punched in the face. There's no need for that. We don't want that in football. So the reaction itself was pathetic, and that player got karma because he was the exact player that put the ball in the back of the net. So that's what you get for trying to cheat. But yeah, Walsh, idiotic, but he was amazing up to that point. He ran the show. He was the best player on the pitch, and then he goes and does that. And I feel like this is what we're going to get with him. He's literally a red card, a walking red card. He might go consecutive run of games playing amazing, but then that one game is going to get sent off.
Yeah. I mean, he must have been the happiest player out of everybody when that goal went in. Yeah, I mean, he even tweeted it himself. Brave of him to tweet, by the way, because he knew what he was going to get in the comments. Was Mike's comment here? You taking no apology for nearly costing your side with your stupidity. Again, lucky boy. Yeah, and you'll hear, of course, whether he can play at the Hawthorns as well. Sam, we can't leave that game without talking about Kaminski. I'm not sure I could have done that given the week that he has had. Just I mean, I don't think he had too much to do to be fair, but impressive.
Yeah, it was very courageous of him to be straight back in the team, and also Matt Bloomfield going over to Belgium to be with him is amazing, and you feel like you're lucky to have someone like that as our manager. Such a nice gesture. But Kaminski coming back into the team, he didn't really have anything to do, but reliable, I guess. Yes, very nice.
Yeah, Lee says Thomas Kaminski, man of the match. He said every player worked their socks off. So proud of the lads. Again, yeah, and one final one here, Kevin. We should also mention as well 100 appearances for Reece Burke, notched up in that game as well. Impressive player.
He has been impressive over the years, hasn't done too much this year, has been injured, came and played a bit part here. I just want to go back maybe to your one question that Lewis answered in terms of Walsh. At the time, I think I felt like the 3 guys over here and was swearing at him, leaving us with the rest of the time. But we did call a couple of weeks ago for their grit, for the people to stick together. It reminds me of Kay Naismith about 2-3 years ago, when people were pushing Eli around, got a penalty, and Naismith actually came in and broke it up and pushed other people around. And from there, Luton started playing as a real team and got the promotion. So I think it's great that Walsh did stick up. Yes, at the time, I 100% agree with the guys. I think it was stupid. We gave them massive advantage away. But it does show the grit. And that's the same grit, like you say, that Burke has got. That's the reason he's played 100 games, because he's always there for his team. You see him in the face of opposition. And if we can get that back to Luton next year, I think in the long term, it's going to do us very, very good. So it's not all negative, although for that last 10 minutes it was, for sure.
So very quickly, we're fortunate he didn't get a yellow, because then there'd be no appeal. but because it's a straight red, we are appealing it. So the referee got it wrong, but at least he got it wrong in the right way if we get it overturned.
Yeah, absolutely. And just a great footballing. Well, I say great footballing. Skeptical. Just one of those games where so many teams were watching and counting on. I mean, my own team were playing Chelsea away. I didn't even watch any of that game. I was just glued to see what was going to happen. This one, right, Lewis. How do you see this? How do you see this final day unravelling? Then you guys are at the Hawthorns against the West Brom team that are out of sorts, and actually Cardiff should have beaten them at the weekend. No manager, and the fans are really, really not happy with how they've been playing. Whereas Hull go to Pompey. Would you sooner have your fixture or Hull's?
No, Portsmouth at home are quite difficult. They're not, their record against the bottom half teams are the reason why they've stayed up in the Championship this season. And you look at their lineup, which they played against Sheffield Wednesday, they put in it was still a strong team. And I feel like their fans would want to go out with a bang. Players, yes, okay, they're on the beach, but some of them still have to, they're still fighting for a contract because they might be out of contract in the summer. And it'd be the same with the West Brom team. I just got a feeling it's going to be the Luton way. We're going to just make life just difficult for ourselves. And I can imagine we're going to start the game. We're going to go 1-0 down, and then we get back into it, and then end up losing again, and then win it in a dramatic fashion. It's just going to be Luton. But fingers crossed, results go our way.
Yeah, I mean, a Pompey brace by half-time just settles all the nerves, doesn't it? And we spoke to Portsmouth fans last night and asked them, are you on the beach? And believe you me, they want to beat Hull. They're happy to relegate Hull because Abu Kamara was a player that they tried to sign in January. Hull slapped a $4 million price tag on them, essentially keeping him captive there when he wanted to come back to Portsmouth. So they are ready to relegate them on your behalf. Sam, who starts for you though? Same team that started Coventry. Any changes needed?
Well, it depends on Walsh's cards. I think, a lot depends on Walsh. If he's out, then Fan would probably play instead of him. Oh, and Clark, what's the midfield? Walsh, Asgard, Fan. Yeah, I would have Clark would come back in. Clark, Asgard, and one of Fan or Walsh. Because Clark was really good when he came off the bench against Coventry.
Okay. It is the final away day, of course, of the season, the final game. So we'll ask for your favourite away trips this season. So get thinking on that. But also we need to start thinking about the summer as well. Kevin, we can't ask you about that yet because we don't know which division you're gonna be in. Just quickly though, Birmingham and Wrexham have been promoted. Clearly they're going to spend a bit of money, you would think, to stay in the division. Do you see those two being not your proverbial would come straight back down again, given the size of investment that's likely to go into those clubs?
I think it's tough for any team from the Championship going up to the Premier League. I think that gulf is just massive. We saw it last year. We've seen it this year. I mean, Southampton is not a small club. They've got quite a lot of resources, yet they're stuck on 11 points with a few games to go, 4 games to go. I think it's going to be tough for Leeds. It's going to be tough for Burnley. Burnley were there with us. I mean, they ended up after us. They had a great manager. They had a lot of money at that point. It's tough. And I think they need to do something. I think the Premier League and the Championship needs to do something just to close that gap a little bit. Otherwise, we're going to see straight up and straight down for quite a long time. But then again, a club like Nottingham Forest has changed it from last year. I mean, they were close to relegation, and look at them now, flying high. So you just never know. But I don't foresee them being too successful, unfortunately.
Okay, all right. And Mark, you mean we're talking about Birmingham and Wrexham there? Do you see them? Do you see them being mid-table, or do you see them being involved in the upper echelons of the league?
Off the pitch, they're both going to be unbearable, aren't they? Honestly,
yes, yeah.
Everyone's just like, I mean, Nathan Jones referred to Wrexham as the circus, didn't he? Before
Charlton game,
Saturday. I just think they won't struggle in a relegation only because they'll just chuck obscene amounts of money at it, and unfortunately they are going to be unbearable. But Icy has been at the opposite end of the table. I'm not going to say we're going to get promoted, but I just think with what Matt's done and they'll have the targets, and we'll just. I mean, I'm talking like presuming that we're going to stay up, and I do think we will. On the subject of that, one interesting stat: the last time that Liverpool won the First League and Leeds won the Championship, Luton stayed up on the last day of the season.
Oh dear, where have you found that from?
Just a stat.
Speaking of L's, Lewis, it's fair to say that in the recent weeks we've come to you on here, you've had your head in your hands quite rightly and saying this is over, this is done. Alongside most of the fan base, to be fair, are you now a believer again? Are you back on level terms with this, that you are going to be absolutely fine come 2:30?
Come on, Lewis, you're a believer. Come on.
Ask me after the game.
No. Come on, Lewis. We need your positivity here.
My positivity comes when that first whistle goes. That everything I say before the match, that's when it comes out then, and then I give it my all in the stand. But look, we're in control. We couldn't ask for it. You know, we've put ourselves in a fantastic position, and Matt Bloomfield deserves a lot of praise. I wish we made life a bit easier with him winning at least one of his first 8 games. But it took 8 games for it to happen. But yeah, look, we're in control, aren't we? We know we're in a false position. We know we shouldn't be where we are, and it's because of what's happened over the course of the season. Now it's down to us to get out of it, and yeah, just we need to make sure we leave that game with no regrets, that we didn't at least put in 100% and don't repeat performances like we have done over the course of the season, especially in the first half. But look, if we perform like we have done over the last 3 games, I'm sure we'll walk away with the 3 points.
Absolutely, yeah. And of course, we haven't factored in here Preston or Derby or Stoke. So even if Hull were to score and you were to score, there's still teams there that all the results going their way. They are nervous as anything, particularly Preston North End, who cannot believe that they might just drop. Brilliant. Right, finally then, it is the last away trip. Mark, you've done nearly all of them. In fact, let me just check. Have you done all of them?
The only one I missed was Blackburn, so I've done all them, all
21.
the
21.
Shocking.
Yeah.
Absolutely shocking.
Call yourself a fan.
no commitment.
Absolutely. But between you then, you've done all of them. Was anywhere else at Blackburn? Lewis, were you at Blackburn?
No, I did quite a few this year, but I didn't go to Blackburn.
No, okay, right. We've nearly done all of them between us then. What's been our favourite away trip? It doesn't have to be the win either. It could just be the experience. It could have been like the performance, unlucky. So, and Kevin, you've sat from afar, watched them all, and in your sunny climates, what have you? Which one have you enjoyed the most?
Look, I was lucky to watch a couple of away games at the end of last year. None of them were very successful, so I can't call them great away games, including Norwich, including Leeds. From afar, it's been a lot better the last couple of months. I will say there's 3 equal ones. That's the Derby victory where we won, Cardiff where we won 2-1 away, and then obviously Hull 1-0 away. Small victories, but the Luton way once again. All 3 of them been absolutely brilliant and came at the right time after 12 successive defeats in a row. So I would say all 3 of them were absolutely brilliant there.
Okay, Sam.
Mine would be the Derby away game. I was part of a press box in that game, and I was covering it and got to interview Bloomfield after. So, and just I had to remain neutral in it, but to see us win such a key game was quite special.
Okay, right. Well, I'm disappointed that we've got 3 people on here that have chatted with Matt Bloomfield, and not one of you has managed to get him on here. So yeah, all sacked. Mark.
It has to be Derby. Having walked 7 days to get there, and it was it was a must-win game for us because if Derby had won, the gap would have been massive. And I think the rearguard second half performance made the victory all the more sweeter. So, for personal reasons, how long it took me to get there and to see a win just made it a great day and a great week. So, yeah, Derby for me.
And Lewis?
Yeah, I don't want to repeat the answer, but I've only seen us win twice away from home this year, and that was Millwall and Derby. And Derby sold out away end. The atmosphere was amazing, absolute limbs as well. So I can't say there is a game better than that. Hopefully next week we'll top it.
Okay, right. Well, all eyes are going to be on Fratton Park. I'm sure you're going to have whatever communication devices you've got, watches, phones, radios, waiting to hear that Colby Bishop has bulged that whole net, and then we can all relax, can't we? Enjoy the atmosphere, whether it's nervous or party time. We'll catch up with you for one more of these before we let you go for the summer. Join us next week as we look and talk about whether we've got Luton Town still in this amazing division. Thank you for joining us. Good luck.